Welcome to the Health Education Module 3. The course code for this module is HE30D3. My name is S. Dube and I'm going to be the tutor for this module. Let's look at the course content. In this module, you are going to find the dynamics of HIV, which is now an advanced study because you have done some of these things already in your year 1, year 2, and year 3. You also look at the effect of HIV on the immune system and disease progression, HIV and opportunistic infections, study of antiretroviral therapy, monitoring of antiretroviral therapy, adherence in antiretroviral therapy, nutrition and HIV, living positively with HIV, the study of the national health policy and the healthcare system in Namibia, post-exposure prophylaxis, which is PEP or PEP, as some people call it. Learning outcomes. The aim of this module is basically to assist students and increase their understanding of viral cycle through an advanced study, to help students to understand how medicine works on inhibiting the cycle and thus improving the life of infected individuals, to explore these critical aspects of nutrition and its role in successful treatment and managing of side effects are discussed, to provide the historical and conceptual background for the human rights movement, to present an overview of the international and regional legal frameworks in the field of human rights, conventions, covenants, and declarations, and to introduce students to the links between HIV/AIDS and human rights and why human rights are fundamental to any response to HIV and AIDS. Introductory overview. This manual has been designed and written to assist students and increase their understanding of the viral cycle through an advanced study, which helps them understand how medicine works on inhibiting the cycle and thus improving the life of infected individuals. The unit on opportunistic infection discusses the effect of the virus on the immune system, the relationship between the immune system and the progression of disease. The study of antiretroviral focuses particularly on the different classes available in the world, but in particular in Namibia, and how it works, and further develops the understanding of the importance of monitoring ARV therapy towards successful outcomes and improved adherence. The critical aspects of nutrition and its role in successful treatment and managing of side effects are discussed. The manual also examines the national health policy and exposure and post-exposure prophylaxis guidelines in Namibia. Hopefully, by the time you get to your 4th year, you will also be introduced to PrEP, which is basically prophylaxis exposure, meaning the medication that you take as a way of mitigating the effect of contracting HIV, which was just recently introduced. Let's look at the introductory overview of this module. Having dealt with different aspects in terms of HIV and its effects on the individual, students are encouraged or are now beginning to analyze different medical and biomedical situations related to opportunistic infections, disease progression, the role of nutrition and adherence in more detail. Students should now begin to develop working knowledge and skills in HIV/AIDS studies. Furthermore, students are encouraged to continually consult libraries and the internet in their quest to gather recent information on HIV/AIDS. It's very important for you to visit the website for UNAIDS, UNICEF, EU, World Bank, and also even consult regularly with the Ministry of Health and Social Services website. They always have got very, very nice researches and new policy guidelines on different developments around HIV and AIDS. The manual contains the most current information, yet it is important to remember that HIV and AIDS and its treatment are an ongoing matter and are to be researched on a continuous basis. So the structure of the human immunodeficiency virus. As HIV students, HIV and AIDS students, we need to understand the structure of HIV. Because the way HIV is designed and how it eventually infects the most critical part of the human body, which is the CD4 cells, plays a very, very important role, especially at the stage at which we are studying at. So it is very important for you to be to acquaint yourself with the knowledge around how this anatomy is and what role it plays in the infection of the CD4 cells, and also what happens when it comes to the treatment of HIV when we introduce ARV in the body of a person who is infected. Let's look at the assignments. Assignment 1 has got 2 questions basically. Describe the HIV life cycle in full, from attachment of the host cell to the maturation of the virus. Use your own ways to show understanding. Right? Question 2, draw a schematic diagram of the HIV virus and the host cell, the CD4 cells, to highlight the cycle you described in question 1. How would you explain the cycle of HIV to an individual with no medical background? Assignment 2 also has got 2 questions. Question 1, discuss the goal of ARV therapy and the benefits for HIV-infected individuals, their family, and the community at large. That's 10 marks. And question 2 the second question in question 2, starting ART is a lifelong commitment. Discuss the side effects associated with medication, and in each explain how you would assist or advise a client to cope with it. Be sure to include in your discussion the issues related to the adherence and nutrition. Question 3 also has got 2 questions. Describe the relationship between the CD4 cell count, viral load, and opportunistic infection. You need to understand there's a very strong relationship between the CD4 count, the viral load, and the opportunistic infections. You need to understand that part very well. And HIV and TB is a lethal combination. Discuss. So what is the relationship between HIV and TB? And lethal means it's a very dangerous combination. So what dangers are posed by the presence of HIV in the body as well as TB? Assignment 4. Conduct a review of the antenatal survey of the 2017 Ministry of Health. Outline and analyze all the key findings and recommendations in this report. Your analysis should include your own views on the key issues. Okay. Assignment 5, conduct a critical review and analysis of the national health policy of the Ministry of Health. Discuss the current management structures in relationship to the policy and challenges of implementation. We know one thing for sure, that Namibia has got some of the best policies in the world, but perhaps the challenge is implementation. So we want to look at the contextual issues. What challenges are there that are holding back the implementation of those policies that could have otherwise made a very, very big difference? 6. Assignment 6. Living positively with HIV is a phrase commonly used when referring to self-management for people living with HIV. Elaborate. So mostly when people are infected and when they test positive, we tell, as counselors, we encourage the concept of living positively. So we want you to look at this in more detail. Assignment 7, adherence to ARV is vital to the success of therapy for individuals as well as the community level. Conduct a small study on adherence to ARVs at 3 different art sites in the city of Windhoek. Full and part-time students. As a distance student, you can do it at one of the sites convenient for you. For all students, include in your study challenges and recommendations and compare it to other studies in Africa. So it means you have to go on the ground, and if you get any challenges around gathering information, you can actually ask the authorities in the hospitals and clinics and tell them, I am doing this assignment and can you please give me some information, and they will be glad and ready to assist you. Assignment 8, adequate nutrition for people living with HIV is extremely important. Discuss. So we are looking at the role of nutrition in HIV and AIDS. And actually there's a very interesting book on an HIV nutritional guide, which was designed by Ministry of Health and Social Services. It's very important that you actually lay hands on that book and make the most out of it. In conclusion, students are strongly encouraged to read widely before attempting the assignments. My contact details are readily available in your tutorials. And I wish you a very happy and exciting journey ahead in your studies. I thank you.